So I want to ask you guys a question. Why are people in relationships?
For friendship.
Okay.
They like somebody.
Okay.
Love.
Love. Okay. All of these reasons. How do they show those in a relationship? How can you tell that that person really cares about them?
They're nice to each other.
Okay.
Hand-holding.
Hand-holding, right? Okay, so if you're in a relationship because you love them and you respect them and you want to be with them, why do people abuse?
That's how they saw it in their parents' relationship.
Okay, that could be a reason. Well, we're going to read through a scenario real quick. I'm going to have Megan read it, and then we're going to discuss it afterwards. So really pay attention to what's going on, okay?
Hee-young and Michael have just started dating. Michael doesn't know all of Hee-young's friends. As he walks out of school in the afternoon, he sees Hee-young talking to John. It looks like a private conversation, and Hee-young is laughing. Michael thinks she is flirting and becomes angry. He walks over to Hee-young, puts his arm around her, and says, "Let's go," as he pulls her away. Hee-young tries to introduce Michael and John, but Michael cuts her off, saying, "I said, let's go now." Michael drags Hee-young away. He leaves a bruise on her arm. Hee-young tries to explain that John is her older brother's best friend. They've known each other since they were small children. She was not flirting. Michael says he won't have his girlfriend embarrassing him in front of the entire school by talking to other guys. Later that evening, Michael goes to Hee-young's house with a dozen roses and tells her that he loves her very much. That's why it drives him crazy when she talks to other guys.
Okay, so how does Michael want Hee-young to act?
Like he's in control of her actions.
Okay, very controlling. What else?
Like he's the only person that matters.
Right? So he can be very possessive. Yeah, very good word. Okay. Why might Michael want her to act this way? What's the reason behind it?
He might be insecure.
Insecure. Very valid point. What else?
Jealousy issues.
Jealousy. Okay. And then how is Michael getting her to act this way?
Well, he got mad at her and then he brought her a gift.
Okay. So what is that showing?
He's manipulative.
Okay. What else?
That if, he thinks that if he can just be mean and then give her something and then it'll all be okay again. So
how did he show that she was, or that he thought she was being mean? How did he throw that back on her? What did he say to her?
Didn't want to be embarrassed.
Embarrassed. For teens, like what is that? Like if you're in school and this all happened outside and your boyfriend or girlfriend had just said you embarrassed them, how would you feel?
bad.
Pretty bad, right? Okay, so he's controlling that. He's playing off your emotions, right? So what kind of abuse do you think this would be? He's trying to control her what?
Emotions.
Yeah, but what else? What he did controlled the way she is going to blink in the future.
React. Respond.
Interact.
Act. The way she is going to act in the future, right? Okay. But through all of this, I mean, you would say if you're in a relationship, sometimes you're going to get jealous, right? You know, you like them, you don't want them flirting up with somebody else, right? That's healthy. We're all going to have doses of jealousy throughout our life sometime, okay? But when you start to control the way someone acts or you manipulate them to do something else, that is abusive, okay? One thing that I thought was really interesting in this, what did he do after he kind of tore her down a little bit, gave her a bruise? What did he do?
Brought her a gift. Flowers.
Brought her a gift. What do you think that did to her or for her?
She probably felt like he loved her, and
Right?
so then like the hitting gets associated with flowers. And
So what does that do to her? Hee-jung, how does she react to this, right? She just had this explosive kind of behavior, very aggressive. She got a bruise from it. She feels bad because she embarrassed him. It was a very negative interaction, but then he shows up at her door with flowers. Do you think she's going to associate that with being abusive, or what is she going to associate it with now? Because he just brought her flowers. He loves her, right?
She might think it was just a one-time thing. That's not gonna happen again. He apologized and brought flowers, so we're in the clear. Like, it's not gonna happen.
So that's a way people manipulate. That's why they hook them back in, right? Oh man, I love you so much. Like, here, I brought you flowers. Kind of forget everything I just did. Okay, so people can be abusive for many different reasons, right? They usually want to control the way they think, they act, or they feel. And in these, the victim and the abuser both can have short and long-term consequences due from this. There are red flags that we can all look forward to, or look to really make sure that we're not in an abusive relationship ourselves, or our friends aren't, or our parents aren't, or siblings, whatever it is. Like, look for those red flags. The scenario that we went through today could have changed, could have gone differently, right? But we all choose how we are going to act, and we can choose to act in a non-abusive way. A takeaway from this lesson is just remember, like, the victim is never to blame for anything that happens. It's your choice on how you treat others in a relationship, and just remember that no one deserves to be abused. All right, so I just got done going over session 3, which was on why people abuse. I think the biggest thing for this section to realize and really understand is that it is going to bring up a lot of emotions with kids if they are from an abusive family or they are in an abusive relationship. And just being very open to kind of dealing with that, because it can manifest itself in anger, or they can get really upset and leave the room, or they can get really quiet and not want to talk. Always realizing, don't press anybody to talk to you about a situation, but also being very open to saying, hey, we can discuss this later on. Working with teens, they are going to be able to kind of call your bull crap on stuff. Be very real and very honest with them. I would say if you are a person who is abused, don't go into your own personal story about that. It can bring up very negative reactions from the kids. But be real and honest with them. That's what they're looking for in this. I'm always here as a resource if anybody needs any help, or just going over ideas, brainstorming ideas on how to present this. My email is anaresh@gslclubs.org. That is ARESCH@gslclubs.org.